There are two kinds of research that you do when you're writing. The first is nuts and bolts research. That's literally find out how many nuts and bolts were used to make the Golden Gate Bridge. It's hard research, specific research. I don't mean hard, difficult. I mean that it's specific. It's not subjective at all. With a movie like Steve Jobs or The Social Network, where I'm technically illiterate. I don't know much about computers at all. So there was going to be a lot of the first kind of research, of the hard kind. How does a computer work, kind of thing. The other kind of research is when you don't know what you're looking for yet, and it's research where you're trying to find the movie. For instance, with the movie Steve Jobs, I really didn't know what I was going to write. I didn't know what it was going to be about. Of course, I had Walter Isaacson's biography to work off of, but I knew I wasn't going to be writing a straight biopic. So I wanted to meet with and talk with as many people as I could who were close to Steve, and hope that some points of friction made themselves known, and that I could write about that. With the second kind of research, you need to hear it yourself, because again, you don't know what you're looking for, and you never know what might pop up. With The West Wing, someone will say in passing, gee, did you know that the president's motorcade leaves as soon as the president gets in the car, and that sometimes a junior aide will get left behind when they're out in the middle of the country someplace, and somebody ran into a gas station to buy a postcard. They came out and they found that the motorcade was gone. You think, great, there's an episode, that kind of thing. You never know where a cool story is going to come from. So that's why you want to talk to as many people as possible. By the way, people are very nice. They will oftentimes come to you. You'll get an email saying, I heard you're doing a movie about this. Let me tell you my story. But it'll be dozens and dozens of people that you're talking to over a stretch of months. You have to start somewhere. It's a standing jump. So again, using Steve Jobs as an example, you knew you wanted to start with Steve Wozniak, with people in the book who were close to him. And then in talking to them, they'll say, gee, if you really want to know about that, you should talk about it to this person, and that kind of thing. You'll find at the end of all of it that 90% of the research didn't make it into the movie, but you need to do it anyway. In this case, it was easy. It was a high-profile project. It was a high-profile book, and then it became a high-profile movie. I have a research assistant, and usually it's that research assistant tracks down the email address. I don't know how he does it. I'll find out, though. And I send an email introducing myself, and here's what I'm doing, and I'd love to meet with you at your convenience. I don't want to wear them out or take too much of their time. I want them to be happy to be doing it. An hour will usually do the trick. I mean, listen, there are some cases where, like Lisa Jobs, with Steve Jobs. Lisa did not participate in the book because her father was alive at the time, but she did participate in the movie. And that was several meetings because, again, there's the easy research and the hard research. The easy research is, what does the Secret Service do when they, hear a bullet, a gun go off? Tell me what happens, what everybody does. The hard research is, I don't know what I'm looking for yet. I only know, Lisa, that your father denied paternity of you until this age, so I'd like to talk to you. By the way, I would not put it that harshly to Lisa. So that, something like Lisa, that's a process of just getting to know each other, getting to trust each other. In that first meeting, I wouldn't ask any tough questions at all. I might not even ask any questions. It's just a cup of coffee. And you get a little closer in the second meeting and so on and so on. But, sometimes you can just be direct about it. Tell me something I don't know about how the nightly news is done. Tell me something I don't know about, what goes on in the locker room of the Oakland A's. We did have a Secret Service advisor on the West Wing. He was he was a great guy, a former Secret Service agent. One of the people who was protecting Reagan on the day that Reagan got shot, and he now runs. I'm going to do a little plug for him. He and several other retired Secret Service agents run a absolutely not-for-profit organization that helps find missing children, and these people are good at it. So I'm really grateful to him. But we'll usually meet once in person, and then everything after that can be done by email or over the phone. Then there's the research that I find meaningless that other people don't. When I was very little, through a friend, I got taken onto the set of All the President's Men, the Washington Post newsroom set. And the person showing us the set, and I was little, but I still remember it. The person showing us the set reached into one of the trash cans next to a desk on the set, pulled out a crumpled piece of paper, and uncrumpled it, and showed us that on that piece of paper were yesterday's baseball scores. Yesterday being 1973, yesterday. In other words, the garbage cans were filled with what the garbage cans would be filled with. And even at whatever age I was, I thought to myself, the cameras are never going to see the garbage cans, much less what's in the garbage cans, much less what's printed on a crumpled up piece of paper. Isn't this self-indulgence on the part of the director? It seems to me the only good it does is showing a visitor to the set that this is cool. But there are some directors, who like to do that. For me, if it's not helping the actors and if the camera can't see it, it doesn't matter. Oftentimes, actors will do research that's meaningless, and they get to do whatever they want, however they cross the finish line, however they give the great performance that they give, which was the reason you hired them, is fine with me. But, okay, on the movie Malice, Alec Baldwin played a trauma surgeon. Alec is a great actor, is a truly great actor, and I like him very much. But he wanted to spend a lot of time in an operating room, watching surgeons operate. Until one day I just said, Alec, we're not going to ask you to actually operate on somebody. There's going to be dialogue, and your hands are going to be doing this. So that kind of research always seems pointless to me. But if it makes the actors feel better, it's fine with me. As long as they don't come back saying, this one surgeon said this really cool thing, and I want to say it,